and then delivered the blow. With a calm but devastating tone, she said, "I just don't think you're a good candidate for probation." In that instant, Callahan's hope for freedom evaporated, replaced by a 3-year prison sentence that—
Why didn't you pull over?
She refused to get out of the vehicle and had to be assisted out by officers. She was afforded that explanation that it was because of expired registration. It was only because of her action of not cooperating with turning over her ID and identifying herself that the officer.
Welcome to the Court of Justice.
2025 CR 0086561, State versus Veronica Callahan. Can I have parties announced?
Sworn Espinosa for the state.
Matthew Allen for Miss Callahan.
And are you Miss Callahan?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You entered a plea on January 27th. According to your plea, the state was proceeding on count 1, waiving the enhancements. Punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 6 years in the prison. There's a $1,200 fine. The state is opposed to your application. They're taking in consideration 2025 CR 014278. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI and TAP evaluation?
Yes, Judge.
Yes, Your Honor.
Are there any objections?
None from the state, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Any objections to the court reviewing the PSI and TAP evaluation?
No, Your Honor.
No, Judge, sorry.
All right. And state you're opposed. Do you have any witnesses?
No, Your Honor, just briefly.
Defense, do you have any witnesses?
No, Your Honor. Just argument as well.
Right. Just give me a moment. All right. State, you may proceed.
Your Honor, we ask that you deny Ms. Callahan's applications and sentence to a cap of 6 years in the prison. Ms. Callahan has criminal history. She's been convicted of 2 DWIs, a manufacture and delivery of a controlled substance, PG1, as well as the possession of a controlled substance, PG1, 4 to 200 grams, as well as another possession in 2016. Of these cases, she's been granted probation in 4 of these, 3 of which she was granted probation resulted in motions to revoke and sentencing either into the respective Bexar County Jail or TDC. Ms. Callahan has been given chances on these probations and ultimately cannot comport her behavior to comply with the rules and conditions laid out before her. Based on the PSI and TAP, Ms. Callahan's in the pre-contemplation stage. We can see her when she recounts the facts of this underlying case. She essentially blames the officer. She said that she drove away because he reached his hand inside of her vehicle without providing a reason for the stop. However, she was afforded that explanation that it was because of expired registration. It was only because of her action of not cooperating with turning over her ID and identifying herself that the officer attempted to open the door to assist her out of the vehicle for non-compliance. She then drove off, and it was only after her vehicle was spiked, the rear tires had blown out, and there were multiple patrol units following, both marked and unmarked, that Ms. Callahan stopped. Once she stopped, she still did not comply. She refused to get out of the vehicle and had to be assisted out by officers. Your Honor, Ms. Callahan alleges that she has ceased majority of her drug usage throughout her life. However, I think it's perplexing that she expects the court or asks the court to believe that she has no usage. She merely just possesses narcotics. So because of these reasons, Judge, we'd ask that you deny her applications and sentence to a cap of 6 years.
Yes, Your Honor. The criminal history is what it is. So she was on parole. She completed that. As far as the instant offense, it's not a drug case. It's an evading arrest case. Her recitation of the facts are just that. It's a recitation. It doesn't say I'm not guilty of evading arrest because the officer reached into the vehicle. It's just her recounting what happened. Obviously, she's here because she's taking responsibility. She called the police even when she was driving, and we've had multiple conversations. 1, you can't take off when a police officer is there. 2, if you did, when you call the police and there's multiple other officers there, you pull off to the side of the road. You don't get to choose where you stop. And she understands that. She understands that, takes responsibility. That's why she's here today. She's not saying I didn't evade arrest or that there was some legal reason why I was able to not comply with the officer's commands. And that's why she's here, because she took a plea to accept responsibility. Since she's been out now, as far as the PSI goes, it says here current address. She actually does now have a stable address here in San Antonio, Texas, so she's not homeless, which helps with obviously trying
Why
to.
didn't you pull over?
The reason she didn't pull over is because she didn't feel that the officer explained anything. She thought she just got pulled over, and then he was reaching his hands into the vehicle. She felt unsafe. That's why she left and called the police herself.
So why did they have to put spikes down?
Again, that's because she was then trying to say, well, she was going to feel safe if she went to her house. So she's not driving at a high rate of speed, but we've had that conversation before. And so something from probation would be like a cognitive course, and thinking and critical decision making, because obviously that's an error in judgment. And that's a mistake. That's why she's here. As far as she does have a stable home, she actually has two jobs. One is a home health care worker, and I know the court sometimes does not allow people, but she has another job where she helps remodel a business for a man named James. She provided a letter from him to probation as well. So we have talked about this court and home health care working, and that's why she has another job set up and is already working that. Like I said, her housing, she actually had a trailer where she paid an individual $4,000 to live there. Well, that individual is not there any longer, and his wife is not agreeing with that. So she lost out on that money, but again, she's found other places. Mental health, she had been diagnosed a long time ago with manic depressant and bipolar. Again, she is working. She has support here. Paul Dickens is here in the courtroom, and he shows up. She showed up to court yesterday because she's heard this court say, do not show up late. She showed up a day early. She takes this case seriously. I don't see how sending her to prison sends any message or helps anybody. Again, she can take drug tests. She can work. She has housing. She can take a cognitive course. She can do a mental health evaluation. She even explained about that some of these things during the interview, she was crying because it was bringing up past things. And so she tried to be open and honest about it, about her past. And so again, they cognitive behavioral therapy, again, there's some adverse childhood experiences. She has had a pretty good childhood. I just think that the court can put conditions in place that allows Miss Callahan to continue to support herself, get better, and protect the community all at once. And so we're asking this court to give Miss Callahan just an opportunity to go on probation. Understand she had been on probation a while back and didn't take advantage of that. But she is a different individual here today. She wants to take responsibility. She does want to show the court and herself and her support system that she can follow this court's orders.
May I answer the question
About
the reason of
Do y'all need to step back?
well, when that's the time it's the reason being was very inclusive.
Yeah. So she had conversations with the supervisor of SAPD about the interaction and some of the ways that were done. And so, but again, that's after the fact. That doesn't absolve her from it. But she has tried to take responsibility, examine herself and her responsibility in that situation. And obviously she was wrong, and that's why she's here today.
State.
Your Honor, I would just ask the court to deny applications. Ms. Callahan when asked how supervision would help her first statement was, it would definitely help me so I don't lose my freedom. I think that's what is exhibited here. Ms. Callahan thinks her freedom is more important than the law. She thinks that she can flee because she feels unsafe. And at what point are we to show Ms. Callahan that you must comport and comply, and you can't keep running from things because you think you're right? So I don't believe she would be a good applicant or candidate for any sort of probation judge. And while this court may and will probably be able to accommodate and target some of the issues Miss Callahan experiences. I don't think she is deserving of that chance because she's shown she cannot comply.
All right. Uh, anything you wish to say? I mean, if you want to say something, then I'll have to put you under oath. State will have a chance to ask questions.
I just know that.
All right, no.
No,
Do you want,
I don't want to.
Okay. No, Your Honor.
you're sure? Ms. Callahan, what I'm telling you, if there's something you want to say to me, then what I have to do is I have to swear you in. And then I will listen to whatever you want to say to me, but the state will have an opportunity to ask you questions as well. So do you need to speak with her concerning that, counsel?
No, Your Honor. We've spoken about it. And no, she doesn't wish to talk other than what I've explained, and what she's said.
All right, Ms. Callahan, I reviewed the PSI, the TAP evaluation. I've listened to your attorney and listened to the state. I just don't think you're a good candidate for probation. Okay. I'm going to find you guilty, taking consideration 2025 CR 014278. There's a $1,200 fine, time and money run concurrent. I request the therapeutic community, and I'll sentence you to 3 years in the prison and give you credit for any time served. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what that is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. All right, good luck to you. All right, the court is calling 2024 CR 4065 State versus Crystal Molina. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Nicole Thornburg for the state.
Monica Anna Guerrero for defendant.
And are you Miss Molina?
Yes.
All right, you entered a plea to count 2 on December 19th. According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment was to be assessed at 2 years in the state jail facility. There's a $2,000 fine. There's no application for deferred adjudication. There's to be restitution of $10,000 to DZ Industries. And you were to agree not to be employed in a capacity where you are in control or handle any type of funds that are not your own. Are parties ready to proceed with sentencing?
Yes.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Not right now, Your Honor.
All right, so my understanding, since you have the $5,000 cashier's check, and is that made out to DC Industries?
It's made out to Bayer County CSCD.
All right, so Ms. Abrams, if you can make sure that that goes directly to restitution. All right, then, so the remaining restitution amount would be $5,000, is that correct?
Yes, sure. Yes.
And Ms. Abrams, on this case, if you could make sure they set up a payment schedule for her, and if she missed any payments towards restitution, let the court know so we can have a compliance hearing. So do you have any children?
I do. I have one son. He's 23 years old and a grandson.
All right, how old is your grandson?
A year and a half.
And what do you do for employment?
Well, I was doing accounting,
Okay,
sales, customer service.
so, I mean, are you currently employed?
I am not. I'm looking.
All right, so in this court, I require that everyone have employment. If they don't have employment, there needs to be a reason. For example, if they're on SSI, then they need to provide proof of that. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, the court is going to sentence you to the court is finding you guilty. The court will sentence you to 2 years in the state jail facility, suspended and probated for 5 years. If you're able to pay off everything early, then the court will reconsider.
I just want to clarify that it's 4 years that we agreed on.
No, that's outside your agreement.
Okay.
It's just what is recommended by the state. If you complete everything early, then you can perhaps be terminated early. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
But the key about this probation, you need to pay that $5,000. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs, proof of employment within 45 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors or in any occupation where you are in control of any type of funds. So you can't be a cashier, you can't do any of that. Do you understand?
Yes.
To clarify for my client, employment with minors or elderly, is that what it was?
Home healthcare
Healthcare.
provider. So
Okay.
she can't be in any position where you're working with vulnerable people.
Okay.
So for example, the home healthcare field, you're not to be help someone at their home. You're not to take care of the elderly. You're not to take care of minors. Do you understand?
Yes.
So if you want to work at a fast food restaurant, you can work at a fast food restaurant. If you want to, well, you're really limited since you're not able to handle money. You're not able to be a cashier.
Right.
So if you want to work at a restaurant, you can work at a restaurant. They can give you your tips. That's fine. But anything where you are involved with exchanging money, you're not allowed to do. All right. If you want to be a hostess at a restaurant, you can be a hostess. All right.
Yes.
Or if you want to be a welder. So no involvement, no occupation involving the transfer of funds. And I'll give you 45 days to
45
find employment.
Yes, ma'am.
There's to be 200 hours of community service restitution. You okay? 100 hours will be waived if you decide to obtain a higher level education or if you decide to obtain a certificate or welding or anything of that nature. You understand? And if there's something else that you would like to do to improve yourself, then just let probation know and I'll consider deducting the community service hours for that. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
There's going to be field visits one time per month for 6 months. There's to be restitution of $5,000 to DZ Industries. And that restitution amount, Ms. Abrams, is just what she will owe remaining on the $10,000. Yes. And I'll notate in the docket sheet that you paid $5,000. There's a $2,000 fine that will be probated. And can you tell the court, why did you take these fines?
I don't want to give you an excuse. It was just a bad choice on my part. I mean, I can give you the excuse.
No,
but
no, give me the,
Moving forward, well, I was a single parent. I know it's not an excuse because I could have got a second job.
yes.
But it was just a bad decision. And moving forward, I would like to do what is necessary by you and the courts and probation and move forward.
All right, and the reason why I asked that question, I asked that question so that I'll know if there are any other courses that are needed from you, okay?
Mhm.
So, Ms. Abrams, and I'll deduct another 100 hours from the community service, but I am going to require you to complete the MRT course. All right, is there anything else, Ms. Abrams? Is there anything you need from the court to be successful?
No.
All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor,
And did you sign it?
I did.
All right, because this is plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing, in this court, to be successful, communication is key. If you're having an issue, let your probation officer know about it. If you feel as though they're not addressing it, then you can always come back to the court and we'll figure out what's going on.
Okay.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you
And
for
thank
your
you. You
time.
always dress appropriately for court. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Have a good
Veronica Callahan stood before Judge Stephanie Boyd, her future hanging by a thread. She had pleaded guilty to evading arrest, a terrifying chase where she fled from police, forced them to spike her tires, and still refused to get out of her vehicle. Her attorney begged for mercy, painting her as a changed woman with 2 jobs and a stable home, someone who just made a mistake because she felt unsafe. But the prosecutor reminded the court of her long criminal history. 2 DWIs, drug convictions, and 4 probations that all ended in revocation. The state's words cut deep. She thinks her freedom is more important than the law. Judge Boyd listened carefully, reviewed the reports, and then delivered the blow. With a calm but devastating tone, she said, "I just don't think you're a good candidate for probation." In that instant, Callahan's hope for freedom evaporated, replaced by a 3-year prison sentence that would change everything.